one day. Sit back, just listen and think. One day, yo, what up? It's your boy Wit Ras, and I'm back with another episode of Thoughtz with Wit. And on this episode, I'm gonna be talking about rapper Dave Blunt's telling his fans to use the N-word with the hard ER during his shows. Now this is crazy, yo, and I just happened, I was on YouTube and this video popped up on my news feed, like in the homepage on the timeline, and it just showed, like, it said, rapper Dave Blunt give fans the pass to, to use the N-word with the hard ER during the shows, right? And from what I got from the video, right, it was just mostly white people in the audience, you know what I mean? And it's really mind-boggling if you ask me, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm gonna give my thoughts on this shit, yo. Like, first off, right, like, I'm not familiar with his music like that, you know what I'm saying? And I never heard of him until this video that I saw of him, you know what I'm saying? And telling his fans to use the N-word with the hard ER during his shows, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know the exact reasoning for him saying that, but it's really mind-boggling if you ask me, as FBA, you know what I mean, and having experienced racism before in my life, you know what I'm saying, plenty of times. But like, I'm surprised that, he just gave them the green light, like that. He just gave them a pass, you know what I mean? He's not standing on integrity, yo, you know what I mean? So this nigga's like a little younger. He's probably, I think he's like 23, I read. So like, he's not really like grown yet. Like, he's still like in that, like, kind of probably like still in that, the young phase, how young niggas do, you know what I mean? So yeah, he's not standing on integrity, you know what I mean? So I'm curious to see, like, if he gets called nigga with the hard ER, right, outside of his shows, how he'll feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he might turn over a new leaf. You feel what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting when that happens, and most likely that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, right, he probably just did this for like views, for some attention, to go viral. You feel what I'm saying? But in my opinion, it's like them white people is not laughing with him, they laughing at him, if you ask me. And that's how most of them are, you know what I mean? Like, from what I experienced and noticed, you know what I'm saying? Like, I researched him and Googled him, and it says he's Black American, but like, I'm not sure if he's FBA, because like, normally, like, FBA, like, we don't like move like that most of the time. So I don't know, like, if he's like, I don't know, but it's very surprising, you know what I mean? So but like, I remember, like, in a personal incident, like, I remember I had checked some like white dudes at my job, right? I used to work at security, and then even before that, I was working in a library and shit, at a college, and it was like, some white dudes or whatever, young niggas or whatever, right? Young white niggas or whatever, right? They tried to use the word, like, they thought I was gonna be cool with it, and then I checked them, like, yo, I don't feel comfortable with that, you saying that. I was like, yo, don't use that around me, and it's gonna be problems. And then they stopped using it, you know what I mean? So like, these dudes, I could tell, were not from, they weren't around hood dudes. They were like those Malibu Most Wanted type of niggas, like trying to be down or whatever, and whatever. You could tell they weren't around black people like that. So I'm looking at these niggas like, what? These niggas look foolish, you know what I mean? But that's besides the point. But like, maybe this dude never experienced racism in his life before. I don't know his background. As I said, I never heard of the nigga, you know what I'm saying, before this incident, you know what I'm saying? So like, this guy, he probably never been experienced that. Who knows? But like, I use nigga in my music, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, or and around people I feel comfortable with, but not like the hard ER version. Like, that, like, the history of that word is crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's FBA, so like, I wouldn't obviously be using the like N-word with the hard ER. Like, that's totally off limits for me to be using that version of the word, due to the history and my lineage, you know what I mean? So I'll be reading up more on this story, and seeing like maybe his reasoning for doing this. But as I said, it's probably for he's looking probably for attention and views to go viral and shit like that. You know what I mean? To get his numbers up. But I'll be reading up more on this. You know what I mean? So on that note, peace.